Nice morning on this Hump Day Wednesday. We're joined by Sylacauga Mayor Matt Hubbard. And Mayor, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Jimmy Dan.
Good meeting last night with Sylacauga City Council. Talk about it.
Yes, it was a great meeting. Got started off in grand style. Miss Judy Green from the Commerce Museum. She came with a couple of her staff members, dressed in, for her event that she's going to have for the American 250th celebration on July the 4th.
Well, we painted up Sylacauga real well, haven't we?
We have. It's beautiful. The fire hydrants are beautiful. The mural over here off it is absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, we've got a lot of wonderful things going on, and Miss Judy Green's event at the museum is going to be on the 4th from 11 to 2, and she came dressed up as Miss Betsy Ross last night.
Yeah?
So it was just a great way to get the meeting started off, and it was a very informative and productive meeting last night.
You had a representative from the Birmingham Humane Society in with us. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we had the Greater Birmingham Humane Society as our guest at last night's council meeting, and Miss Allison Black Cornelius from the Greater Birmingham Humane Society. She's the state's leading animal advocate. She's actually one of the, if not the main driving force behind Bo's Law that should be enacted in October coming up. So she came and made her presentation about what she and her team, they've already observed out at the 280 corridor, and gave that preliminary proposal to the council last night. And so she's going to put that, the council asked her to put that basically in writing, and she's going to get that back to me by Friday, and then we'll share that with the council and start moving forward, hopefully with that proposal. I mean, it's literally a blessing that they're engaging with us. They're the 10th largest humane society in America, and she's just a wonderful leader and knowledgeable. She has so many animal control officers on her team, so many veterans, and Dr. Johnson working with her and her staff. And it's honestly a blessing that they've chosen to engage with us. And I'm going to encourage all of our listeners, all of your listeners, and our voters and our citizens, please go watch last night's video of last night's council meeting. Listen to Miss Cornelius, and you will be well informed, much more educated about animal advocacy, animal control, animal shelter type issues. And she's just at the top of the game in the state of Alabama. So it's really a blessing that they've chosen to engage with us.
Now, you believe this is a win-win for the citizens and for the animals, right?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. This opportunity here is an opportunity for wins all the way around. And one thing that did not really get brought up in last night's council meeting is how we've been talking about this for months and how time sensitive this is. And I just want to remind all of our citizens and our council members that school is out. Our children are out in the community now more over the next 2 months. So just by that alone, we've increased the percentages of a negative interaction out at that Highway 280 corridor, simply because those kids aren't in school. They're going to be with parents and grandparents, shopping, going to eat, doing those type things. So in my mind, the time sensitive part of it has increased. So, hopefully they'll get that proposal. I'd like to see a called meeting to go ahead and approve that and start the process, because we would have to have an ordinance put in place. Maybe could do it through a resolution in the beginning, but it would have to be followed up with a permanent ordinance or a temporary ordinance in this case. And getting letters and signage and all that type of stuff out.
The numbers I saw were a little bit higher than what we first thought out there.
Yeah, well, at first, when this began, we were from our numbers on our side, we were thinking around 15. And then after we got the negative press on this, we actually had more dogs dumped, and it jumped to about 22 to 25 there in about a 10-day period. And by the time Miss Cornelius and her team got here and they spread out, they estimated that what they saw in that given day was between 30 and 40 dogs that particular day. Now, you don't always see all the dogs. They're not all in the parking lot all at the same time. You've got dogs out in the woods, in the surrounding areas, and in those ditches and so forth. So it's a very fluid situation, and that's what, if folks will go and watch last night's meeting and listen to Ms. Cornelius, she talks about doing recon first and really getting the patterns on these dogs, and then implementing a no feed ordinance on our side to where we stop the feeding, which we've been talking about for months. Please stop doing. And
how can we put teeth into that to get people to stop doing that?
Yeah, you have to do like it's gonna, in my mind, it's a temporary ordinance that falls under a permanent ordinance, and it allows the city to conduct a government operation during a particular time frame on private property, because those parking lots are private property. Those have their own property owners and that. So we have to get permission from those property owners, not just the businesses. I want people to understand that. It's not, you're not going to the businesses getting permission. You're going to the property owners to get that permission. That allows us to put the signage up related to the ordinance, you know, no feeding, you know, per ordinance, and penalty of. Most municipalities start out at a $500 fine. And enforcing those, that gives us the legal, you know, foothold there to enforce a no feeding during that time frame.
I was out at Walmart just to drive through there last week, early morning hours, and I counted 12 animals that were right there together, and 2 of those 12 were about to drop puppies, so that's going to be more and more and more.
Yeah, Miss Cornelius touched on that last night. She said there were 2 or 3 that they observed that were pregnant. So, I mean, that's just, you see how it grows exponentially. So, and you know, this cannot be kicked down the road any further. I mean, but we are beyond the point of action. Honestly, we needed to act a few months ago, in my opinion, but you know, we are where we are, and this is very hopeful. You know, you see this gift horse literally in Greater Birmingham, and with Miss Cornelius coming to offer this assistance to us, and right now there's not a price tag associated with it, so it's what she had shared with me privately, and then in the meeting last night, it's, look, we'll share with you what our end cost is on this, and then you pay what you can of that. So when I say it's a win-win, it's just a win it's a win for our citizens. It's a win for our visitors that come through town and shop out on the 280 corridor, because it is a public safety issue. It is a public health issue. It's a win for for those animals, because this is going to be the most humane way of approaching this problem. And even Ms. Cornelius said, you know, she's done this in dozens and dozens of municipalities, and they've never seen a situation like this. Wow. She actually said last night that this will probably end up being a national case study for this type of effort. So that's how unique this situation is.
Now, you don't have a vote. The city council will, you know, be the driving force of this. You get a feeling on how the council might look at this?
Well, the council's role in this is relatively, you know, they're the legislative branch, so they would approve any ordinance and, you know, tweak, you know, any part of the ordinance that they want to, and then the funding of that, you know. Now, as far as working on the day-to-day with this, because this would be a day-to-day operation through our police department and through our animal shelter, so it falls under the mayoral's role as far as that goes. Their role would be to, just like I said, the ordinance side of this, and then whatever the financial side of it will be. They'll have to decide that part of it. So,
Sylacauga Mayor Matt Hubbard, our guest this morning on Daybreak, and you can check out the Sylacauga City Council meeting on things going on in Sylacauga, is that right?
Yeah, any of those social media platforms, but primarily Paul Steps. Yeah. That platform, he'll have it up. He may already have it up. I don't know. I haven't looked yet. But I encourage everyone to go, and if you want to be educated on this topic, Miss Cornelius does a wonderful job of explaining.
Very quickly before we go, we got about 2 minutes. What should we do if we encounter animals in those areas over there?
I've heard so many different stories, and we're starting to hear from some of those property owners as well. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I've spoken with the regional manager out at Home Depot. He's in Atlanta, but he was here a couple of weeks ago, and his own observations, within 10 minutes, he saw 2 automobiles pull up, and dogs began to approach the individuals that got out of those automobiles. And I believe it was a couple of weeks ago, Brian Tomp was on, and he talked about how people have phobias about dogs. Yeah. And so I was glad he brought that up, because the regional manager said they just looked at those dogs, got back in their car, left, didn't come back. Wow. That happened twice within 10 minutes. And then he actually saw a couple hours later, he saw an individual feeding, and he went and spoke with that individual, and it went well, and they promised to stop. Yeah. But that's the biggest thing out of last night's meeting for our citizens. Please, and Ms. Cornelius touches on this, the majority of people who are bitten by dogs or mauled are the people who in their mind, they think they're helping those animals by feeding them. And typically it's a feeder who falls down, and then the dog attacks. Sylacauga
Mayor Matt Hubbard, our guest this morning. Mayor, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Jimmy.
That'll wrap it up for Daybreak on this Wednesday morning. Till next time, God bless you. God bless America. Stay safe, everyone.